Hello everyone. Welcome to the AI for All channel. Have you ever wondered how artificial intelligence learns? How it recognizes images, suggests music, or even wins a chess game against a human? All these incredible feats are possible thanks to two powerful techniques, machine learning and deep learning. These terms may seem complex at first, but they actually involve fascinating learning processes carried out by machines. But how does this work exactly? And how can an AI learn without someone programming it for each small task? Today, we're going to explore these concepts in a simple and accessible way. We'll understand how AI uses the data it receives to develop its abilities, almost as if it's learning like we humans do. Moreover, we'll see how this learning impacts our daily lives and what the future may hold for the evolution of these technologies. What is machine learning? Machine learning is a technique that allows machines to learn from examples rather than being explicitly programmed for each task. Instead of telling the AI what to do in every situation, we feed it a large amount of data, and the machine begins identifying patterns on its own, based on this data. Imagine you want to teach an AI to identify pictures of cats and dogs. You don't need to program it to recognize every detail that differentiates a cat from a dog. Instead, you show it thousands of images of these animals, and the AI begins to recognize visual patterns. Over time and practice, it learns what features define a cat and what features define a dog. Everything starts with the input of data, which could be a series of images, sounds, or text. The more examples the AI receives, the better it becomes at performing its tasks. The learning model used by the AI is a mathematical algorithm that analyzes the data, searches for patterns, and starts learning how to classify, identify, or predict something. This model is constantly adjusted as the AI processes more information, becoming more accurate over time. For example, think about streaming services like Netflix. Machine learning analyzes the movies and series you watch and identifies patterns in what you like. Based on that, the AI recommends content that you're likely to enjoy. The more you use the platform, the more the AI learns about your preferences. This ability to learn from data is one of the greatest strengths of machine learning and is the foundation of many AI systems we use every day. What is deep learning? Deep learning is a more advanced form of machine learning. What differentiates deep learning is that it uses something called artificial neural networks, which are inspired by the workings of the human brain. These networks are made up of multiple layers of artificial neurons that process data at various levels of depth, allowing the AI to discover much more complex patterns. These neural layers work sequentially. In the case of an image, for example, the first layer may identify simple shapes like lines and edges. The next layer will identify more complex features, like eyes or a mouth. And so on, until the AI can identify a complete face. Imagine you want to train an AI to recognize human faces. At first, the AI will learn to identify basic shapes, like circles and straight lines. As the training progresses and more data is processed, it begins to recognize more detailed patterns, like the shape of the nose or the distance between the eyes. This makes it extremely precise at recognizing faces, something widely used today in facial recognition systems, like those that unlock our smartphones. Another practical example of deep learning is virtual assistants, like Alexa and Google Assistant. They are able to interpret your speech, identify what you're asking for, and provide an appropriate response, thanks to deep learning's ability to analyze and learn from large volumes of data. Differences between machine learning and deep learning. While both are ways of teaching AI to learn, there are important differences between machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning is ideal for simpler tasks and works well with smaller datasets. It requires human intervention to identify which data features should be used in the training. For example, in the case of an AI distinguishing cats from dogs, the programmer might have to tell the AI to focus on features like the shape of the ears or the tail. Deep learning, on the other hand, excels in more complex tasks that involve large volumes of data. It uses deep neural networks that can automatically learn which features are important, without needing constant human intervention. In the case of images, deep learning can learn on its own to identify the most relevant visual patterns to distinguish a cat from a dog. If we compare the two, machine learning is like teaching a child to read by pointing out the letters and words, while deep learning is like having an experienced reader who can interpret nuances of meaning and understand complex texts without needing as much instruction. practical examples of machine learning and deep learning in everyday life. Now that we understand how AI learns, it's interesting to see how these technologies are already present in our daily lives, often in ways we don't even notice. Content recommendations. When you use Netflix or Spotify, personalized recommendations for movies and music are generated by machine learning algorithms. The AI analyzes your consumption habits and compares them to those of other users to predict what you might like. This makes your life easier by suggesting something you'll probably enjoy without you having to spend hours searching. Virtual assistants. Every time you talk to Siri or Google Assistant, you're interacting with an AI that uses deep learning. These assistants are able to understand your speech, process the information, and give a response or take action with precision, all thanks to the ability of neural networks to interpret natural language. Online security. Machine learning is also present in banking security. Banks and credit card companies use this technology to monitor your transactions for suspicious activity. If the system detects an unusual purchase, such as a large transaction in a different country, it may block the transaction and notify the bank, preventing fraud. Self-driving cars. Finally, self-driving cars are one of the most advanced examples of deep learning in action. They use cameras and sensors to see their surroundings, making decisions like stopping, accelerating, or changing lanes in real time, all based on what the AI learned during training with millions of traffic data points. These examples show how machine learning and deep learning are transforming the way we interact with technology, making our lives more convenient and secure. Types of learning in AI: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. There are three main ways to teach an AI to learn: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Each technique is suited to different types of tasks and depends on the available data. Supervised learning. In this method, the AI learns from labeled data. This means that for each input, such as an image or text, the AI already knows the correct output. The AI then adjusts its parameters until its predictions match the correct answers. A classic example is recognizing images of cats and dogs, where the AI already knows which images correspond to each animal during training. Unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, the AI receives data without knowing the correct answers. Its task is to find patterns in the data on its own. An example would be the AI grouping customers based on their shopping habits, without knowing beforehand what kind of groups it is looking for. Reinforcement learning. Here, the AI learns based on a reward system. It takes an action, and depending on the result, it receives a reward or a punishment. Over time, the AI adjusts its behavior to maximize its rewards. This type of learning is widely used in robotics and gaming, where the AI learns to improve its performance over time. Each of these learning methods has its advantages and is applied in different contexts to optimize the performance of AIs. Today, we've explored how artificial intelligence learns using techniques like machine learning and deep learning. We've seen that while machine learning helps AI perform simpler tasks with less data, deep learning allows it to discover much more complex patterns, thanks to the use of deep neural networks. These technologies are already a part of our daily lives, from movie recommendations to online security systems, and their impact will only grow in the future. Understanding how AI learns helps us better grasp the digital world we live in and prepare for the innovations to come. Did you enjoy the content? Don't forget to subscribe and like the AI for All channel to stay updated on more news about technology and artificial intelligence. See you next time.